So it opens up with someone holding the flyer for the Alamo, and the guy pulls it down and his face is revealed, and Too Slim, he's like he's not a very amused sort of fellow, he's just like really serious most of the time, and he's like really bony from, I guess he's a heavy smoker over here, so right here, and he's like, no sir, it just don't seem right. And then, so it goes forward to all the guys in front of the bunkhouse, and Woody Paul is busy tinkering with his contraption, and Joey's up there playing his squeeze box, and Too Slim's just running over the trip with Miss Marm, and Woody Paul's like, what don't seem right, Too Slim? And then it closes up on Too Slim's face, and he's like, Miss Marm, he's taking the kids across the prairie to visit the Alamo, and then he goes back to it. He's just working on his thing still, and Woody Paul's like, well, I'm sure they'll be fine. And Too Slim's just looking at, like, staring at what he's doing. He's just like, what are you doing? And he's like, it's a time-saving clock, and he's all excited about it. And Too Slim is still not amused, and he just like, and he frowns, and he's like going on about his contraption, and he's like, yep, that is their purpose, Woody Paul. And so he pulls down the lever, and the clock starts running slower, and he's like, well, now you can have more time. So then Joey plays a little tune to, I don't know what that scientist tune sounds like, so.
A little ditty?
Yeah. And he just like pulls out random instruments from out of nowhere. And there's,
Well,
like,
that's normal for these guys because they're musicians.
Yeah. So, and then there's like some weird eerie background as he plays this little tune. And he gives, and Too Slim's like, thank you, Joey, the Cowboy King. And he gives him a smile. And then he starts stepping down the stairs, and Woody Paul puts his little thing away, and he's like going off like, now do you remember that time that one contraption opened up that, what do you call it? And he's like just going on about that, and it fast forwards to Woody Paul being like, well, why don't you ask Ranger Doug? And in the background, Joey's playing the tune of Revelation, and all of a sudden the horse, like the hooves sounds comes up, and Doug's horse is, there's a close up of his hoof, and there's a backlighting shot, so he's like really silhouetted, I guess, and he's Ranger Doug's top his horse, and then Too Slim comes up to the horse, to Turbo, and he's like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, you know, flies are button early this year, and he just takes it normally. And Too Slim hands the flyer out to Doug, and he's like, have you seen this? And he's like, yes, I have my crusty saddle companion. And then, so Woody Paul is like, is he calling you crusty, or is he calling your saddle crusty? And he just ignores him. And then Doug goes off on his little spiel about whatever, him being a cowboy and all.
The keeper of the cowboy wing.
Yeah. And then the ending is when Too Slim interrupts him.
You have anything? Didn't quite finish, huh? But that's okay. They look nice. Do you guys feel the same way?
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't
definitely. I love
The drawings are lovely.
I can't draw no
all
more.
the characters.
I didn't
Just-
draw like
no matter
that.
how serious he is, he just still makes me love with that face. And Woody Paul, he's so adorable. He looks so short. And of course, Ranger Doug, you might find those stereotypical heroes with the big chin,
Yeah, he's like a really
broad chest, and probably blonde hair.
Yeah.
And the horse can be sarcastic. He looks kind of almost have the same personality as Too Slim. Like, oh yeah, it's fine. Despite the complaint, despite all the hardships I'm going through, I'm still fine. I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And
Kind
I
of
love
like characters
how,
in Blazing Saddles.
and I love the your art style, it really intrigues me how the face goes, how animated they are, the character fits in perfectly. Even Joey's pretty funny in a weird, skinny way.
I agree. There's a guy, I can't remember, the name doesn't come to me. I'm looking at, say, once again, Woody Paul up there in the upper section. It reminds me of like the character, the guy that used to do those great things in Mad Magazine. Jack Davis is the artist's name. Similar style, very clean line work. Good contrast in there. I'm just sorry that time ran slow on you. And what you need is a trans-temporal time calculator clock, so you can slow up time and get more done.
Yeah.
Seems like a really good idea, personally. So cool. I wish you had set the type. That was the only other thing. Try to think about that next time, because these look really nice.
It makes me
What a good storyboard should look like.
I like the book,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
The reflections on the book.
Yeah.